You've heard the word bad hair
Yes.
day. You've heard the words good hair day. I'll be honest with you. I put myself in a category of I've got hair on a 1 to 10 scale. What does it mean to me? And I was kind of in the 6, 7 range. It's okay. It's nice. I comb it or whatever. If it gets down here or parted up there, I'm okay. I'm starting to lose a little here. And I was going, I've taken my hair for granted my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking to myself, could I really regrow hair? And I want you to know, I studied for about a month straight on what regrows hair and does it really work. And do you know what I came up with? About this much paperwork and about this many more photos, and I honestly found that there is not one product that actually regrows hair. Mm-hmm. And I went to the anti-aging convention where I'm the chairman of all that whole branch of medicine, and I went out into the trade show. And the trade show is about as big as the whole open area of this mall over there. All that one section was just on hair care. And I spent the entire time going to every booth, and I went to every single booth, and I tried every single thing they did. And they had lasers, and they had infrared lights, and they had all lined up, all in a room way bigger than this. And I tried every single thing, and I tested everything, and I looked at the research on the finest hair regrowth product in the market at the pharmaceutical level. And do you know what its statistics are? 0.03% new hair growth. I says, what are you talking about? That could be as much as I lost my hair because I shampooed it too hard today, or I didn't. And they go, yeah. And do you know where they found the best hair regrowth product in the market? In a drug test for high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we think you're growing extra hair. Oh, well, let's put it in a study and put it out on the market for money. That is what the hair regrowth market is in the pharmaceutical and medical world. So know that you're kind of on your own, and you better take care of your scalp, or else you're not going to have hair. Now, some people say, oh, it's genetic, I just lost my hair. But I've seen too many family pictures of 6 men in the family. 5 of them all lost their hair and 1 hasn't. And I interviewed some of these people and said, why? Every single one of them had a program and procedure. They started in their 20s, and they took care of their hair. And Jeanette's exactly right on the stimulating of the head is one of the best ways you can stimulate blood flow to the scalp, because that's where hair comes from. Now, in my presentation, it's going to be fairly quick, but I want you to see and realize that all of this is important. But, all of you have this handout, right? Before we go through my presentation, I'm going to do it in reverse. I want you to take with you 1-sentence sound bites and presentation points. I'm not going to tell you which ones they're going to be, but these are the ones I have picked out that are very important. And they're duplicatable because you can hand somebody this wonderful brochure. Quick, simple, easy, because people don't want an entire 40-minute presentation on shampoo and conditioner, do they?
No.
And if they do, they'll come to a meeting like this, and they'll all be mostly, what I find, models that are already spending a fortune on their hair, and somebody's taking care of it for them. Now, with that in mind, when I look at this front of this page, everybody with me? I have the photographed side, and she's got a nice picture. If you recognize the top half of this handout with the photograph, this is expertly written in a form to pique somebody's interest. So, even if you don't speak the same language in Japan, maybe, you can hand this brochure to somebody. Play along with me, will you? Yep. Okay, good. And you pick this up, and the first thing you're going to see is that photograph, and they can read. You don't have to memorize and spit out all these words. This is to pique their interest. It creates demand for a product in a placement. You don't have to memorize or hand that to them. Do anything but hand that to them. The next one is in the science. It's a quick picture that says, we are scientific. We've done our homework. Do you see how easy that picture is? Nobody's read a word yet. Now, let's read what I think is very important. The very first paragraph under, look and feel good with Shampoo. The theobromine in Shampoo's nano cacao not only can help your, this is my important part and I underlined it, help your hair look younger and revitalized. People want to know what it'll do for them. Younger and revitalized. It can help you feel great as well by stimulating the production of endorphins, and the last two words are mood lift. I just highlighted what I find most important on this page. A picture they can take home and read, a scientific demonstration with 3 or 4 words, and those are the things I find most important on this page that would come out of my mouth if I left it with them. Then those people that want to play scientific or prove it to me on the backside. Now, I'll go through the bullet points I find are very important. Shampoo, cacao-based antioxidant hair care. People don't know what an antioxidant is. They don't know an antioxidant is in hair care. And the number one question I've been asked is her name Judy? No. I've been asked is, you're really going to put chocolate on your hair? Isn't it going to make it sticky? Isn't it going to gum up my hair follicles? Everyone nodding the same head like this. That's why you have to dispel the myth. It's good for you. Here's an example. People have come to me and said, I had my hair permed. Who knows what a perm is? Not women, they all know. Men, who knows what a perm is? Yeah?
Felix.
Tell me, in one sentence. You only get one sentence. What's a perm?
A perm is a curl.
A permanent curl. Great. Anybody else?
Is it permanent, though?
You're damaging the chemicals in the hair.
You're getting closer. Chemicals are damaging the hair, giving permanent curl. The 3 of you just summed up the whole thing. Guess what the chemicals are that they use?
Sulfate.
You've heard it. Peroxide. Peroxide. Per meaning 2. Oxide meaning free radicals. Not only are they free radicals, they're the double free radical that's the most potent free radical in any product you can find anywhere. Peroxide is a free radical. And what do? We donate electrons that neutralize the peroxide. Now, do we know that a perm hurts your scalp and hair?
Yes, we do.
When a girl goes to get, I went right to the studio on this, and the girls were all doing their training, and they were doing perms, and they were also doing dyeing of the hair. And I says, what are you using to dye the hair? Because I remember in the old days when I was in college, I would watch MASH, and MASH was a show of military army people, and she'd be caught putting peroxide in her hair to dye out the gray and make it go blonde. And so I said, let me look at what you have. And guess what they all use? Peroxide to dye the hair blonde, and it does so by stripping off electrons. I went, oh my gosh, I've got a perfect example of how to neutralize that, don't I? So now when you realize that any highlighter or any coloring agent or any of these other toxic shampoos that are out there are really free radicals, gosh, don't we have a terrific opportunity to educate them in an antioxidant? But we only have one sentence to do it in. We neutralize free radicals, which means that the girls who are getting their hair dyed blonde and it's burning their scalp, have you seen this before? Yeah. Women, you all know this, right?
Yeah, I've had mine burned.
You sit in the chair and they sit there and they flex their toes and grip the handles and they're going, this actually burns my scalp.
Yes.
What do you think it's doing to your hair to turn it blonde? It's burning your scalp. Now, with that as a background, let me go through some of the science here. Hair facts. I know you came just for hair facts. It's like stand-up comedy, right? Most people have around 100,000 hair follicles. Okay. Imagine your head, all these little pinpoints, they're all hair follicles growing hair.
Now that would be minus the 2.
Minus the 2.
The 100,000 hair follicles.
Sherman Butch.
I'm telling you, how you guys travel with me.
I'm glad I'm sitting at this table.
I have a brother-in-law who has absolutely been bald since he was 25. And he has a comment, and I'd like to support all the men and women who are losing their hair in any way, shape, or form with his statement. He said, "The Lord only created a few perfect heads. The rest he put hair on."
Oh, that is
Instead of
true.
picking on them, I want to support them. Do you guys agree? Okay, I'll teach you later. Anyway, 100,000 hair follicles in your head. You cannot increase the number of hair follicles. You can't. That's an established number. You are born with it, and no products can make them grow more hair follicles. However, some people might have more due to genetic reasons. Look at this. This is kind of a cool fact. Redheads have 90,000 hair follicles. Black-haired people have 110,000 hair follicles. And blonde-haired people have 130,000 hair follicles because the diameter of the hair coming out of the hair follicle is larger in diameter in the redheads than the blacks, and the fine thin hair is in the blondes. Have you seen this now?
Yes.
Looking around?
I've totally seen it.
So you can see now that that's kind of a fun fact. It doesn't sell a single product yet, but you wait. This is going to matter here in a minute. Hair facts. Your hair turns gray because the pigment cells known as melanin in your hair follicles are not working properly. Why don't hair follicles work properly? They're too dry,
Clogged.
they're clogged,
Yep.
or they are burnt with peroxides from
Permanence.
toxic shampoos and perms. Yeah, so you're starting to see this makes sense for our product. The hair bulb in the hair follicle usually degrades in production as you age or when you are stressed.
Yeah.
And stress is a major cause of hair loss. And what do we call free radical damage? Oxidative stress. We're starting to make a campaign for this product already. Next to bone marrow, hair is the fastest growing tissue in the human body. 40% of women, by the time they reach menopause, will have female pattern or hereditary baldness. Not baldness, but hair loss.
Yeah.
I said that wrong, I apologize. 40% of them are going to have some hair loss.
Yeah.
Over 50% of men by the age of 50 have male pattern hair loss. And so this is your market as well. Wait a minute, we're not promoting hair growth, are we? No, but we're saying you don't have to be one of these if you're not putting toxins on your head.
That's the critical thing, the sulfates.
Your hair is made of keratin. The same ingredient as your fingernails. Interesting thought. Keratin is a type of protein generated by your body's stem cells, which, if stimulated by scratching, scrubbing, and massaging, they come out and they work. So that's another reason we need to do a little bit of massaging of the head. I know at the next meeting everyone's going to line up and do each other's hair instead of shoulders, right?
I almost brought a portable sink to do it, but
At your parties, you will find people doing that. It'll be really fun. Hair loss by changing shampoo is one of the most asked hair facts. I'm just doing this up front. You're going to get these questions, and I'm trying to answer them before they happen. Shampooing frequently can result in more hairs in the telogen phase. There's 3 phases of hair growth. Production of the hair, growth of the hair, and then the maturity of the hair. This is a phase which is turned off by toxins and shampoo. And it means your hair will fall out faster, especially if the hair is shampooed more energetically than usual. Massaging is good. Ripping through it in that 1 minute early morning is not. Just like she was saying. This is why whenever there is a change in the shampoos or conditioners, this is the point I want to make. When there is a change, All of your life you've been using this shampoo and conditioner. Now you're going to change to this one. This is what happens, and I've seen this at the anti-aging clinic level. They talk about it all the time, so we're going to see it. It says there's a change in the shampoos or conditioners, or a move to a new kind of shampoo, or brushes or combs. Loose hairs that have been damaged from the previous shampoo are going to brush out, fall out, and they're immediately, about the third day, going to go, oh my gosh, this is causing me to lose my hair. Not so, not so. When you change shampoos and conditioners, and the brittle fibers of your hair start to become more and more brittle, and then you apply on the outside in a shampoo, it's going to moisturize the outside of the hair, and the inside will still be brittle, and it'll cause weight, and it actually breaks off the already mostly dead hairs. Does that make sense? Kind of like a wonderful bouquet of roses, you pick off the dead ones before they make a problem. Same thing happens. You're going to shed off the dead hairs, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is causing my problem. I have a new shampoo. Not so. You're shedding off the old already dead hairs in the process. Now, they are often found for 2 or 3 days after the change of shampoo, and the extra hair loss has nothing to do with the product and will settle in a day or two. Usually you will find that the hair that you lost will start to grow back almost immediately, and a month later they're going to have these little 1-inch lanugo hairs budding and growing. That wouldn't have happened if the old dead hadn't broken off or fallen out. So don't get all scared. This does happen, and it's just like the rose bouquet losing the old petals. Everybody with me? You're going to get this question, right? Well, you guys might not, but...
But that, did you guys get that? That's a good way to explain it, is the petals.
So it's a short answer. You don't tell everyone. Oh, this is not a great question. How important is your hair professionally?
Oh, yeah, he's known
Oh,
for
it was good timing, wasn't it? I don't even have to say anything, do I?
This is branding.
Now, you bring up the word branding. He's branded himself, so he doesn't dare change it now.
That's right.
But just imagine if he did. Just imagine him with all of his hair shaved off, and he has a nice bald stripe down the middle. What would you think of him then?
Not sexy.
What an idiot. Grow your hair back, right? Get a toupee. Imagine if he did his hair differently. Do you know how much attention he would get?
Oh.
It's almost kind of like a business thing. Now imagine you with the hair you have had or haven't had in your profession. Will you naturally draw people to you with the glow on your skin and the fullness of your hair?
Yes.
Great idea. What can your hair do for you? Do you remember Jennifer Aniston 10 years ago? She had the haircut that all the girls wanted.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
So
a great
cute.
way to draw people to your business?
This beautiful hair.
What does your hair say about you? And does your hair ever feel like that?
He's back there loud.
Yeah, bro.
These are the women who are going to come to your house and listen to you tell them why they need to stop putting poison on their head and start putting antioxidants on their hair. What does your hair say about you?
Oh, it's trying
That's just awful.
Looks like a news anchor.
going for the Trump branding.
I'm going right to you on this one. Would you give me a 1 or 2 sentence summary of what you feel like when you see that hairdo? And the reason I'm picking on you is because you know engineers that have that.
Engineers do look like that. They do. Scientists, chemistry teachers.